Hey, welcome to Fireside, Tattoo Podcast, the official podcast of the Tattoo Improvement Network. Can you hear me? Are we all right? If we look more dimly lit, it's because someone stole one of our lights. But I think...
Like thieving stole?
No, they just borrowed it.
Oh, okay.
But that's all right. We'll make do.
It must have been somebody very, very, very important.
It was someone very important. Yeah, I guess. We're here with Fast Alley, and I love that name. But like so many artists that we talk to, they're in the witness protection program. They will not share their last names.
Yeah, well, my last name, I just don't use it because it sounds like manure.
Well, what is it?
It's
You
just
have to
not
tell
cool.
me now.
Menor.
Menor, okay.
Yeah,
How do
it's
you
just
spell
not
it?
a cool name.
M-E-N-O-R?
Really. M-E-N-N-O-R.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I just really got outed
Oh,
from my
okay.
witness protection.
We, yeah, it's fine. it's fine. I'm sure, but no one watches this anyways. It's just.
But I do. That's how we
you,
met.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
I was like, hey, Fireside guy.
Right.
I love your videos and podcasts.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's just you and my mom and my grandmother.
Okay,
And,
I'm sure they're wonderful
Emily.
people.
They are.
We'll have dinner sometime.
Yeah, I hope so. So we're in the middle of this Venetian tattoo gathering. We're on the downside of it now, and we're surrounded by these like world-class artists that we all look up to. So don't screw this up. We've been interviewing world-class artists. Don't say anything stupid, whatever you do.
I couldn't believe you asked me to do this. I was like, am I worthy? Yes, I am.
You are
worthy.
There's one reason in particular that I asked you, because when we first met on Friday, you said something about wanting to be part of it. And did you call and just look at getting a ticket and then found the opportunity to actually come and paint? Is that how it worked? How did that come about?
Well, I've been attending off the map events for a couple of years, starting with the conferences, which was a good way to start getting into the educational conference, tattoo scene, because you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to perform.
Right.
And just as I gained more confidence over the years, I just felt with this one, I was ready to be a part of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just approached them about having a spot to paint?
I saw it available on the website. I just get the, I get the promotions, and it said, you can apply to have a painting space. And I just thought it would be nice to have a home base and be able to show my work and just meet people and paint alongside people who are in the same boat as me.
Yeah. And I think so. That's the main reason that I asked you, is because so many tattooers or artists, painters that come to an event like this are self-conscious, and they and just having just being brave enough to step out and say I'm going to try to paint alongside these people. I'm going to try to paint while Jeff Gogwe is tattooing in the next room. I hope he doesn't pass by, or I hope he does pass by and has something to offer. But I just think it's so important to step out and take those chances. And so many people are so hesitant to do it, even on a very small scale, much less a scale like this. But I think of I have some friends, and we do a weekly painting group. We just all split the cost of a model and we paint. And so many people are like, "Oh no, I'm not good enough to do that. I'd love to come, but I can't do it."
I think everybody thinks that, even the artists that we look up to that are, that have enjoyed success and they have influence. They look at a blank canvas, and I know this because Boris personally told me.
Yeah, said, I want to get to that as well.
Yeah, let me just relay what he said, and it really comforted me as well. He said, "I look at a blank canvas and I get very stressed. He wants it to be better than his last. It needs to be better than his last. It has to be the best painting he's ever done."
Right.
And he might freeze and not have a good painting day, but he puts on music and paints with his love next to him, and then it happens. But yeah, I was super stressed and intimidated to pack and perform. But you just have to do it and step out of your comfort zone. It would be very easy to stay at the shop and in my home, and I'd still be very busy. But I come here in order to amass just new experiences and knowledge, so that it enhances my work when I go back home.
Right.
And I make an effort to do it at least twice a year. You have to be proactive.
You get out and try to do something like this at least twice a year?
Yeah, just something out of my comfort zone that will improve just my repertoire as a tattooer.
Yeah. I think you have to, and especially if you're going to keep up today. I mean, I lived in an environment for so long where I just went to the shop and did what I did every day, and I was comfortable with what I did. I didn't look at outside work all that often because I knew what I could do pretty well, and I had a clientele that was comfortable with me doing that, and my work suffered because of it for a long time. And I think a lot of people that have been tattooing a long time have fallen into that, where they're just like they've seen tattooing just take off, go where it has in the last few years, and they're like, meh, what I do still works.
Yeah. Yeah, and you just become a big fish in a little pond.
Right.
So coming here, you are bait in a giant,
right.
a giant awesome pond.
Yeah. So we kind of glazed past it, but you were critiqued by Boris Vallejo and Julie Bell, right?
Yeah. Well,
or
for this event, being a part of the paint room is being a part of Boris and Julie's daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
So we start the day and set up and paint, and they're just going around talking about what they see in your work and what you're doing today. So I got some good direction and good support. Julie especially, it was super kind and supportive. Mm-hmm. And I think she saw that I was a little nervous because I was painting, and then they just came up to me and started talking. I was like, I didn't know you were watching me paint, and right. I think that's when Boris told me we're all nervous. We're all nervous to start something new.
Have they, from a technical standpoint or any standpoint, have they offered any? Did they offer any advice that you felt like you could like plug in, or was it more just supportive?
Right. I think he diagnosed maybe some of my habits that are recurring in my paintings. Like I should just pay better attention to my line quality and not go so heavy on my perimeter lines, which, maybe is something that's influenced by the way I tattoo. So mm-hmm. I think I'll just concentrate on saying more with my line quality, mm-hmm. Throughout my tattoo to communicate form.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I noticed that just looking through your sketchbook that that your lines are really expressive and kind of intuitive, and I thought they were pretty powerful in the sketches. How do they translate? I haven't seen your tattoos. How do they translate to your tattooing?
Well, everything is connected, and I started avidly sketching maybe 2 years ago, and it was a vehicle that just helped me step up my brain to hand communication. So, and it shows in my drawing and my tattooing. Like I just sketch all the time, and it becomes more of a language that you could speak fluently if you just put the mileage on your pencil or brush. Yeah. And if you go throughout the timeline of my sketchbooks, I can actually dial back and see the improvement, from all the time I've been putting in. And then plus, if you keep a sketchbook with you, you're never bored. I don't even know what it means to be bored anymore. Right. So, because downtime is just, let's draw whatever's in front of you. Yeah. And it's only paper. So you will fail and you'll have a book of horrible drawings, but hopefully your ratio of winners to failures increase as you gain more time and experience. Yeah.
So you treat sketching it's like a daily routine for you. You work on it constantly.
Yeah, I just sketch mostly my when I have the opportunity, like here, to have my heroes in front of me. I really try to capture their likeness, and if they say something interesting, I'll write it right on their sketch, and it becomes a little bit of a diary. Right. And then the other motivation to sketch is to make my clients' requests and ideas happen, because when it's just in a sketchbook where it costs less than pennies, you don't have to worry about ruining good materials and getting all caught up in making everything perfect, because you just turn the page and start again. Right. If you weren't successful the first time. Yeah.
So how, like I said, it's a little bit difficult for me since I haven't seen the tattooing, but stylistically, how are you working from your tattooing?
I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah. How long have you been tattooing?
I started 2007. Okay. The first years were very slow moving. Mm-hmm. It's hard figuring out your way in tattooing. There's not a really reliable system in place to bring everybody up the right way, and you just kind of have to scrap and survive. And so luckily I tapped into the worldwide tattoo conferences and the gatherings, and this is a place where you have access to brilliant minds, and you can talk to them about the problems you're having. Sorry, I kind of diverged. What was the question? I went off the rails there.
Yeah, that's fine. It was about the stylistically how you were working. What about your
my tattooing?
Yeah, your tattooing. How about your mentorship? How was that? Your apprenticeship, was it pretty standard? Was it subpar? Was it without hurting anyone's feelings?
Right. Yeah. It's I've worked in 4 different shops for my career, but before I started tattooing, I was collecting. Okay. So I think collecting has been the most important part of my education as a tattooer.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I work mostly black and gray. I love black and gray. It's what I collect also. I trust it. Bold will hold.
Yeah.
Although I'm not a traditional style tattooer, but I like to do animals or mandalas.
Okay.
And my tattoos have like an illustrative quality.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Our co-host David always talks about the importance of getting tattooed by the people that you look up to, and we get a pretty steady stream of questions about how to get into a shop or how to get input from the artists that you like. And if you're willing to invest some time and money with those people, it's a lot easier to get feedback from them or to get the results that you're looking for. As a matter of fact, whenever I started podcasting, I made an effort to get tattooed by the people that I wanted to podcast with. Like, it was a part of the reason that I got tattooed. It was just like, hey, if no one really knew me. I wasn't big on social media or anything like that. When the show first started, I didn't even have a Facebook or an Instagram or anything. So for me just to walk up to whoever, some big name, and say, hey, will you come on my tattoo show? It didn't mean anything to them. But if I was willing to sit and get tattooed and get to know them, and then they became more comfortable with me, then they were a lot more likely to come on the show, and then that just was a domino effect. Once you get one name, then other people go like, "Oh yeah, I know that show. You interviewed so and so," and then it just works.
Well, you contribute. You contribute to the tattoo community.
That's exactly what it is.
And I come from the punk rock scene, so it's a lot like that, except just it's a profession. It's our profession, and we depend on it to survive. But yeah, in punk rock, you have to give back if you expect to get back, and together, if everybody, does, contributes in some way, then you have this pool of awesomeness to draw from.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of it. Are you traveling? You said you're doing 2 educational events a year. Are you doing a lot of shows as far as like conventions? Are you working conventions? Do you tend to stay at home?
We were talking before about being scared of going out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I haven't been ready to do conventions for the first part of my tattooing, but I am doing my first convention at Asbury Park this summer.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be the next thing I can stress out about after I pack up here and go home.
There's nothing like it. You can't get anyone in the position that you want them in. The lighting is terrible. The music's usually bad. Not always, but sometimes.
You just go with it.
Go with it. You just have to make it work.
You can't expect perfection.
Right. People are over your shoulder all the time, which is, intimidating. But yeah, I mean, there's really nothing like it. We traveled and did conventions for some years, and I just don't really love tattooing at conventions, which is another reason it's awesome to do this, because I still get to go and I don't have to tattoo. But then you go and you're sitting and you're podcasting with people and you're seeing all your friends tattooing, and you go like, well, I'd like to do a tattoo today. So yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, there's always a million directions that you could go. So just be comfortable with the choices you made and do the best you can with them, right?
Right. So out of the artists that are here, are there any that have really been a big influence on you? Any that when they walk past, you're afraid to say anything?
I do get a little nervous sometimes, but just try not to let it show, and just try to be cool. You don't want to, I don't want to overwhelm anybody with, stupid questions. Just be cool, and having the painting space, I can just kind of bury myself in my work, and people just kind of naturally filter over to you when it's appropriate.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. So no one person in particular?
Really, I'm here to take in the whole mass, en masse. But I'm a huge fan of Jeff Gogwe, as everybody is.
Yeah.
And he's working on my legs.
Oh, really?
So
I'll have to check it out. I haven't gotten to. He hasn't stopped. He's like a workaholic. Every time I walk in, he's working, and I wanted to try to pull him over to get on the show, but I haven't seen a break in his action yet. So I guess I'm fighting an uphill battle. Same thing with Boris and Julie. I'm hoping I can grab them, but I'm still working up the nerve to walk up and try to ask.
They've been super accessible and friendly. There's, I don't see any reason, to be
nervous about it.
Well, just I think the nerves just naturally happen, but there's no reason not to do it.
I think you're right. You talked me into it. I'm going to try. So going forward, you're gonna try to this time next year. Do you hope that you've worked a couple of conventions, getting your feet wet in that arena?
I'm doing it. I'm doing it this summer.
Right.
Yeah, I'm comfortable working in the shop I work. Everything I need is right there. I don't have to fly by the seat of my pants because I don't have like this supply or that, that computer equipment. But I guess just see what happens, whether or not it's magic or not, or if it's just a harsh lesson that might come out of it. You just kind of add it to the ball of experience.
Right.
I'm not looking to heavily dive into the convention scene. I have, I have a home and 2 dogs and a cat and, Pete at home. So not looking to go on the road except for 2 or 3 times a year.
That's probably a good enough. I mean, I think that's enough to kind of keep you in it and still not destroy your home life. We've had little stretches where we've done a show each month, or for a couple of months or 3 months in a row, and you realize like I don't even need to put my suitcase back in the attic. It's like I have to put might as well just leave it in the bedroom, and that gets old. I think it's nice to spread it out a little bit. Where are you if you had to pinpoint from either a drawing, painting, or tattoo standpoint, where do you feel like you're struggling? You have any struggles that you're having a hard time overcoming?
Like, do I have any? Yeah, I mean, there's
what's the biggest thing that you feel like, God, if I could just make this change, I think.
Well, I really would like a better understanding of Japanese symbolism and mythology. So when I'm maybe called on to do a Japanese piece, that it could look more authentic, and just harness that strength that Japanese tattooing is known for. So every time like something, a new subject matter comes in, maybe in that genre, I feel like there's a little bit of a learning curve, and I have to do a ton of research in order to do a successful design. And it's not quite practical when I'm working every day on a new tattoo every day.
Yeah. We haven't gotten that answered yet. We get a lot of kind of similar answers when I ask that question, and that's a really good one. I haven't thought about it, but when I first started tattooing, there was no internet. I mean, I'm sure it existed, but it was in its infancy. And I used to have the most overwhelming fear of just being ignorant when someone came in. Like, I didn't know flowers that well. So if someone came in at that point and asked for, say, a chrysanthemum or something, I would be like, oh, which one is that? And I had to draw it. I was doing walk-in, so I had to draw it on the spot, right? And I couldn't Google it. And I would just hope we had a book that had one in there. Otherwise, I just looked like an idiot. And I was like, can you tell me which? There were no phones to tell you or anything. So I haven't thought about that in forever. But yeah, that's a huge, like the fear of someone comes to you with an idea and they've researched the idea and
or
they're
not,
or maybe
not.
they haven't.
Expect
maybe
you to do the research. Like, hey, I like that Polynesian look.
Yeah.
And
then you're
it's like,
supposed to know.
I'm not well versed in those awesome, patterns. And if you just make them up, it'll be glaringly obvious that it's not authentic.
Right. I was worried. I was doing a guest spot a couple of months ago, and I had to do someone asked for a Polynesian piece, and I was working in a shop with a guy named Trips Kai. Do you know him? He's
I don't.
well known just for that. That's all he does is or not all he does, but he's really well versed in Polynesian. And so I thought, wow, it's really weird that they asked me to do that when he's at this shop. He's not taking new clients, so they came in looking for him, and then said, oh, well, maybe this guy can do it.
They recommended you.
No, the person that was wanting to get tattooed just decided. They knew me from the show, and they saw that I was doing the guest spot, and they were like, oh, he could probably do it too. So then they came to me when Trips couldn't do it, and I was like, I'm not good at this anyways, but definitely sitting next to this guy. So the only thing I could do was walk over and go like, what are these? Are there any of these shapes I shouldn't use? Like, do they mean something that I don't want to put on this person? And luckily he was nice and helped me through it, but that's scary.
Awesome. That's awesome that you had a reliable source to bounce it off of.
Yeah, it worked out well, but still, like you're saying, to your point, it's a scary thing. Whether someone has educated themselves enough to come to you, at least even in that case, they're trusting you with something that they're more educated on than you are. That's scary. Or if they haven't educated themselves at all on it, then you're both ignorant and you're definitely going to screw something up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not proud of the fact, but I feel like I've learned to tattoo on people who just didn't know any better.
Right. I think a lot of us can say that. Where do people find your work?
On Instagram, fast_Ali, so FAST_ALI.
ALI, okay.
Yeah.
There was already a Fast Alley without the underscore?
I guess so.
Oh.
I think Ali is a common name.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So Muhammad probably already had that Fast Ali.
Yeah, Googling Fast Ali, you'll get a lot of Muhammad Ali references.
Right. And I assume you're taking new clients. Are you booked if people want to get tattooed? Are you available in the near future?
Yeah, I'm booked about 3 months out.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a very interactive consultation process.
Yeah.
So, and consultations are free. So the shop I'm working in now is Artisanal Tattoo in Somerville, New Jersey.
Right.
And you can just book a consult over the phone and then to proceed after the consult.
What do you mean by interactive consultation process?
Well, for a year ago, I got the Wacom Cintiq.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
use one of those.
So when the client comes in, I immediately take a photo of the body part that they're getting tattooed. So we put it on, and after listening to their idea, either I'll sketch on the photo of them, or we'll steal images from the internet or whatever they sent me, and then just start to size it onto them.
Yeah.
And I really want their feedback, and at the same time, sometimes they need to see visually how it's going to place on the body part. And because I do this, I think my clients have naturally been able to go bigger and be comfortable about it.
Right.
I think that has a large part of my being able to work bigger and book out farther, because I'm booking multiple session pieces.
Right. That has just changed the game. Just the ability to draw directly on the skin through the Cintiq has changed the game for me. And that's a great point. People, they see what the tattoo looks like when you scale it, and so you can really, even if they wanted something maybe on their deltoid right here on their shoulder, you can say like, look, it'll take me this much longer, and look at how much nicer it'll look if it just uses the space. And you can show like, otherwise you're going to have all this blank space around this area, and what are you going to do with that? And it's really, when you can show someone, it's so much easier than just trying to talk them into it.
Yeah, and to show it on the picture of themselves. I think that's a technique that other industries have recognized as well.
Yeah,
and
that digital drawing has just changed. It's changed a lot for the way that I prepare for tattoos, and everyone. So many people are using that now. It seems like. Yeah,
and we get to the point faster. I'm not wasting as many hours drawing something, and then the client sees it. It's like, no, that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We make the decisions, and then it cuts to the chase.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Jake, thank you. I'm honored. Honored to be asked.
Thank you. Fast_ALI. Check out her work. And, if you're in the area, or if you're not, New Jersey's close to
New York City.
Yeah. So if you're in New York, pop over to New Jersey. Thank you, guys. TattooImprovement.com. Sign up. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
See you guys next time.